Cirque Jacques Villeneuve, Canada. Again, late at the party, we've just been busy driving around Perth doing bugger all else.
That's right.
Really.
We don't do anything except drive around in cars.
Exactly.
Today, we are in the lovely BMW.
With beautiful coastal views from the sunny west coast, or not so sunny today, I'm afraid. I need to show the world why we need an F1 track in Perth.
This street is way too narrow. There's too many of these.
You'd be surprised, mate. I mean, they take out a few of these islands. And,
I think that's the problem, is the islands, though. The islands are the problem.
Never let a logistical challenge overcome an argument for an F1 track, John. Never. Not the
Problems
view
can
like
be
this.
solved.
Very rare when you get a view like this. But yes.
So Montreal, and we are in round
7. What's your take, mate?
If everybody thought that Monaco was boring, what did you all think of this one? Another repeat of Monaco again, just of course different people at the top. Congratulations to Sebastian Vettel. He was at the front. Nobody even challenged him. After the first couple of laps, didn't see Vettel, didn't see Bottas. The two of them were just so ahead of the pack, and Vettel ahead of Bottas by a good chunk. So that was the whole race. We are bringing to you today the 5 happenings at number 5.
What was number 5, Joel?
I think that number 5 should be given to Carlos Sainz, near brush with Perez. They touched paint a little bit. Perez had to jump corner. It was weird. Came spin out, back onto the track. It's like nothing happened, except for the fact that he did drop like 5 places because of
Alonso slipped through. Brilliant little move there, but took advantage of what was otherwise an obvious situation.
Allowed Alonso to basically do what Alonso does, and he moved quite a fair bit up from his horrible qualifying position of 14th. I think it was just simply a scenario. I don't even blame Carlos Sainz for it. It's literally, he ran out of space. What are you going to do? Give way? Number 4. What really comes in at number 4?
I hope you don't say it. Don't say Alonso.
Look, honestly, I think that only classifies as a number 4, doesn't it?
Alonso. That's such a big problem though, isn't it? Because the whole Alonso thing is a McLaren. Is he going to leave issue? Is he driving ahead of his equipment? What's going on? That's sort of all those 4
all of the
things.
above is issues. There's 2 retires in a row for him, and especially because now you can no longer put the issues on a poor performing Honda engine. Renault have delivered this year the issues with chassis, the issues with mechanical issues that are straight out of Woking.
Is it aero? And which part of the aero division is it?
And
is it the engineers on the chassis?
The McLaren engineers have a lot to answer for. Having said that, that was also part of the new shake-up in management of who's now responsible for how fast the car is going as opposed to how the company is travelling. But that kind of a shake-up it's got to have time before it trickles in. And I think this is the first time I've actually heard Zach Brown come out and actually say, hey, we will have a podium car by 2022. And I'm like, 2022? My God, man. How much more time do you need to give yourself? Are you that far behind that you don't think you can catch the top 3 constructors?
They don't have until 2019 to even renew Alonso's contract. The whole basis of getting their act together this year and blaming it squarely at Honda was about getting their engine selection right.
Yeah.
Where else do your issues lie?
Correct.
If you've got an issue repeating itself week after week and you've got no other team effectively experiencing those isolated issues elsewhere, then you've got a broader problem that you need to resolve.
Now, we've mentioned already before, and that is the fact that given the scenario that you're now in, if you lose Alonso, what do you now have moving forward? How do you now go about attracting the next level talent that's going to drive your car to stay competitive? Without Alonso, are you even competitive at all? Now you're in this downward spiral that Williams finds themselves.
I think they've got enough history and enough of a budget to slash Alonso's wage by half and offer it to possibly someone else. The question is succession planning. Part of the succession plan issue is they don't have a winning team to lure someone in naturally without them having to entice them in.
This is the point that I'm making. Their succession plan at the moment is reliant on Stoffel Van Dorn. The pressure's on him constantly. Everybody's saying, why aren't you performing the way that you're supposed to be? If Alonso leaves, where does that leave McLaren for 2019 season? Anyway, what actually ended up happening, it was an exhaust issue, mechanical, Alonso DNF, and he was in points. Clearly.
Yeah, let's just spend 30 seconds talking about that. I think that was important to note because he capitalised on P14, got in a P11 from the Perez Sainz issue. He was vying for a 10th position with Leclerc, got in front of Leclerc if it weren't for the pit stop. He would have sat in P10 through to the end if nothing else had changed. He would have been in the points.
Yes.
And that must be
Yes.
incredibly frustrating. So Alonso's sitting here thinking if the machine actually worked, we would be in points, and it doesn't. That's why there's all this talk about going off to Indy, he's off to Spa next week.
Wrong.
I'm not a betting man, but you have to think about where the McLaren future lies with a non-Alonso in it.
The McLaren is not at the top of the mid-tier teams, not even close. Which now brings us into number 12. Max Verstappen finishing in 3rd place. Congrats, Max.
He's an angry little boy, isn't he?
Maturity. It'll come in time.
I think there's a type of response that he's giving right now, which is not actually warming to the people, and he's basically in
you're
denial.
right. You know, there is the level of humility that comes with your position. You are a role model. There are a lot of young and upcoming little kids in general who are basically going to be watching what you say. You're representing all of that.
He's a brilliant driver. He had a fantastic race, and let's not deny
He
that.
did.
He did some great wheel-to-wheel action first few corners of lap 1.
He will continue to do well.
Just keep a cool head.
Number 2, Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo came from P6, overtakes Raikkonen, and out of the pit, cuts off Hamilton for P4 finish. Good job, mate.
Homeboy hero.
Well done. Mentionable. Top 6, top 3 constructors lapped.
Used to be tracks that are street circuits, very difficult to overtake, boring race. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Now,
Here on a racetrack,
you've got high-speed circuits
Yeah.
like Canada and others to come, and no overtaking opportunity because too much turbulent air, low tyre degradation, one pit stop strategy, and they run long.
yeah,
And when you run long, as evidenced by, again, Grosjean, 50 laps on what really is a tyre that shouldn't go that long.
no,
You've got a race where people are just following the leader.
Very, very disappointing to see that the top 3 constructors are literally so far outpacing the rest of the field. You know, kudos to the Works Renault team for basically coming in 7th, 8th. Nobody ever challenged them for that position. Well done, boys. But at the same time, very, very sad to see even them being lapped. There was 25 more horsepower in the Honda engine this weekend. What did that mean? Did Gasly get any points? No.
To his credit, he moved from P19 to P11. Difficult though for Red Bull to be able to make a determination on whether that Honda engine, because of Hartley crashing out, actually can deliver into good statistical data and a decision made on Renault. Renault have provided another month's extension for Red Bull making a decision.
I would like to see Honda come back to its glory days of racing.
But they did get P11, so it's certainly better than any of the results produced by McLaren. McLaren must be seething at this particular point of the season. McLaren started out well, they're now tapering off. Toro Rosso seem to be sort of hitting their strides, so time will tell, I guess.
Number 1 position is Lance Stroll, having a little bit of a loose rear end, runs out of room, crashes into Brendan, I feel for you, man.
All that scrutiny on his performance right now, he really didn't need this, the poor guy. Very unfortunate. He was stuck in the dirty line out on the right-hander in turn 5, lap 1, and when Stroll lost that back end a bit and got loose, basically closed the
Oh, it was a
wedge.
massive, massive crash. And
Really
that,
fell for it. Victim of circumstance.
It's very, very lucky that you have everybody who came behind it managed to avoid for the most part. Van Dorn, very unlucky to have picked up debris, had to pit early, pretty much ended the race for him. Alonso managed to get out of there, but again, he had a DNF anyway, as we mentioned. We'll see you all in 2 weeks in France.
Yeah.